Yo folks, today we're going to be going ahead and breaking down or looking inside the account of a mid to high-end spender in the game. The game's closing on 2 to 3 months old, and we're going to have a look at my progress in the account, because I've seen a lot of guides and, well, other stuff about free-to-play players, so I thought I'd flip the script today and go ahead and show you exactly what it's like to be a spending player, what kind of progress you can kind of get, and also talk about some of the deals and stuff. So let's go ahead. This is going to be a long video, so go ahead, strap in, go grab some snacks. If you want to put this on as a background noise, feel free. If you want to go ahead and see what's on the screen, then that would also be appreciated. If you'd love to go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe, would be really appreciated, guys. We're on the road to 100 subs, which is pretty epic, to be fair. But anyway, enough of shameless plugging and shilling aside. So, as you can see, the guy front and center, I've done plenty of videos talking about this guy before. I'm not going to go ahead and break down the kits. This isn't really a video to go and explain that. If you guys want more guides and more battle guides, feel free to let me know in the comments below, and I will definitely go ahead and show you guys. Just request a unit, and if I can do it, I will go ahead and revisit some units and other bits and bobs. So Sasuke Aizen, the first thing that jumps out is, whoa, that's a high power level of 68,000, and yes it is. So, to no one's surprise, again, like I said, I'm a mid-tier to on the higher end of spending, I guess. So, yep, a pretty high power level to begin with. Starts looking pretty good. Weapon stamp, I also went ahead and maxed out his weapon. He is at, ironically, he's at 99 out of 100 with his weapon, which is kind of funny. I think I kind of did that as a meme and kind of got back to finishing the level 100 weapon. It's not too big of a deal. But yeah, Ascension 5. Yep, I spent to get that again. So his weapon stamp is fully maxed out, 5 out of 5. His skills and stuff are fully done. Everything in here is maxed. His main passives are 3 out of 3. All the skills are maxed as much as possible. So I managed to get that done. Boundary, again, I went pretty ham on this. Again, I did like 4 separate summoning videos for that. So, yep, he's 6 out of 6, fully maxed out, fully duped out, and really strong. And then on his kit, specifically this, his Ascension stamp, I did go ahead and buy the pack, but with the corridor update, it isn't necessarily pack you need to buy anymore, you just need to be patient with it. But I went ahead and bought the pack. I only had him 3 out of 5 until the other day, actually, where the corridor update came into place. I randomly, luckily, got one off a YOLO in just an event, 5 keys, and got one that wasn't even with the pity, and then I hit the pity and got the last copy, which was pretty sick. So yeah, that's Aizen. He is 6 out of 6 on here, and he is, again, just as a bit of a flex, from ranking, he is the 3rd strongest on server 6. To be fair, I'm not too far behind the other Aizens, so again, a lot of that is just the dupes and the extra power. So that is Sasuke Aizen. Again, if you guys want to break down the builds, I'll go into more of the build type stuff. And again, a lot of it with the actual set slams is just grinding, guys. No, we'll go ahead and when going down into that, the build that I am running with him is the Bond skill of Aizen, Gin, and Tozen, which is the battlefield skill. It increases all of his damage and then the battlefield skill damage by 25%. So that's pretty good. Okay, which the unit that has been the strongest unit on my account pretty much from day one, up until he got dethroned, sadly, actually last night when I got a different piece of gear for Aizen, and went ahead and shot Aizen from like 66k to almost 69k. Nice. But yeah, so Ichigo again. He's kind of the trend that actually decided was kind of the thing that made me decide to be a spender on the game. Like I saw it and I was just like, you know what, screw it, I'll try and max him out. And yeah, that went very well. My bank kind of cried a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. It was a couple £100 again, I think. But yeah, once again, level up maxed. Weapon fully done. Ascension 5. Skills fully done. Boundary again 6 out of 6. And then the core stamp 5 out of 5. Fun fact: I couldn't stop pulling this way before the update. I pulled like 3 of this in a row, and I got to the point where I pulled like 6 or 7. I had like 6 or 7 copies of this, which is absolutely nuts. But yeah, so I got this pretty easily, honestly, just by doing the unimproved stamp corridor, which is kind of funny. So that's Ichigo, and then this is again a unit which is considered free to play because technically it is. He's one of the standard banners. Again, 50,000 power more or less with Byakuya, which is pretty good. His weapon stamp, I got 5 out of 5. I prioritized Byakuya, but again, I'm a day 1 player, so Byakuya is one of my favorite characters. So that's the reason why his weapon stamp is as high as it is. Skills as much as he can be, because I only have him boundary 2. Because again, I didn't prioritize him. Well, you can't really prioritize these too much. It's just a look at the draw. I pulled a couple of copies of him, so it was relatively respectable. Got some pretty good gear on him. And yeah, his boundary, his core stamp is only Ascension 2. I've not really been focusing on him that much, but he's a pretty cool / tactic unit and got me through a lot of the stuff early on in the game's lifespan in the first few weeks. I still have a sentimental spot for this unit. He has completely been replaced as the best tactic unit in the game by Aizen. Like, it's a cataclysmic gap, to be honest. But I have a soft spot for Byakuya. I kind of like his character, so kind of went why I went in for him. Again, he's running the same bond as Aizen. For Ichigo, I'm running the crit damage bond because, yeah, more than crit damage is great. I forgot to go through that with Ichigo. And then, arguably the second best unit in the game right now is Kisuke Urahara. So yeah, 49, almost 50k power. Weapon stamp only 3 because, again, I was prioritizing Byakuya, and we actually don't get too many of the weapon tickets over time. So he's only 3 out of 5. I do plan to get him 5 out of 5. Again, he, as you'll see in a minute, is boundary 3, so his skills are quite up there. So it's 11 sort of 13, because 13 you need boundaries 5 for. Speaking of his boundary levels, I have him boundary 6. So yeah. So he is boundary 6. Boundary 3. So yep, that's pretty good. And then for his bond, I've actually decided to go for the Renji, Momo, and Izuru bond, which just gives a generic attack buff to all team members by 6%. So that's pretty good. I managed to get his core stamp to Ascension 3, which, funny enough, it was only Ascension 2 today. I got the Battle Pass to level 3, which I should get a free dupe of either the standard units, Ichigo. I think that's it. I think maybe... Yeah, I think that's pretty much all you can pick from, because I probably would have picked up Gein's one if I couldn't have picked this one up. So yeah, I managed to get this one for Kisuke. So that's Kisuke done. Well, Kisuke gone over, should I say. And then newest boy of the hour. So this is another premium unit, which if you notice, compared to the other two, he's slightly less power. Why is that? So he's level 100. His weapon stamp is only 2 out of 5. Again, I didn't actually pull too hard for Geen. Currently his summoning event is still up, so it's debatable whether I'm going to go for more. I'm probably going to wait for Grimjow, but I'm kind of satisfied where I've got Geen at the moment. His weapon needs increasing a bit, which again is why he's a bit lower on power. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with his weapon stamp at 2 at the moment. Don't really need to go too much harder in for that currently. Skills are where they are at the moment because he's 11 out of 11, which means, you guessed it, he's boundary 3. So I've summoned for him a little bit. Funny story, I was quite content with boundary 2. And then I was trying to go ahead and just build up P on the gacha, potentially saving up for Grimjow, which is coming. Grimjow's coming in a couple of weeks' time. Well, on the 30th. And weirdly enough, I actually pulled another copy of Geen, which was funny. I do have my... We got this pack recently, which I'll be able to show a bit later on. Which got some mod tickets and stuff, really cool stuff, so... Managing to slowly build up my pity back up there again. So, yeah, I do have enough pity to go for another copy of Geen, which I'm kind of torn on because he's actually a pretty good DPS, but I feel like you need him boundary 6 because of what he does at boundary 6 with his ult and stuff. Although, that's not bad for boundary 4, getting his impale damage increased by 100%. So that's a pretty good there, but I'm happy. I'm kind of almost talking myself into getting more dupes of him, but nah. I'm happy at boundary 3. He's pretty good. Again, he's not going to be outshining these two, but Aizen and Ichigo. But that's fine. Again, he performs really well in content. I have his Ascension stage at 2. Again, I got the pack for one of them, and I went ahead and got one recently from Pity in the updated stamp corridor, so it was pretty good. He's at a pretty decent level, he performs well, so I'm happy at him being boundary 3. Again, I'm running the new set on him with Rongiku, which is funny because Rongiku's not in the game yet, but it's the technique increased damage of 32% when in battle. Also, all ailment damage bonus if it's higher or equal to 150%. All ailment damage gets another 40% on top of that, which is pretty sweet. And just for my build of Geen here, it does only say ailment damage 128%, but that doesn't, which is pretty sweet. And just for my build of Geen here, it does only say ailment damage 128%, but that doesn't factor in his weapon, which also gives him... it's not his weapon then, it is his core stamp, I believe. That gives him more ailment damage. So overall, he does have enough ailment damage to proc that ability, which is really nice. So that is Geen. So this is actually a unit which I didn't actually spend that much for, and you can tell by his lower power, which is Toshiro. I'm gonna be honest. Again, it's because I haven't spent that much for him that out of the DPSs, even though with Aizen on the team, and Aizen makes this guy look much better, Momo makes this guy look better, and people do have him with dupes, which is again why they're probably looking at this guy more fondly than I am. But yeah, Toshiro for me hasn't really impressed me all that much. I'm gonna be honest. Again, may get some hate for that in the comments, but yeah, out of the DPSs so far, for me, he seems the weakest. Again, I may get some pushback on that because people will see his numbers juiced by Aizen and go, "Oh my god, he's so good." Again, I feel like that's Aizen doing a lot of the heavy lifting, making Toshiro look so good. Also, people overrun Kisuke on Momo, which also makes Toshiro himself look good. It doesn't. It's not actually Toshiro doing the heavy lifting in that regard. So we'll go ahead on the weapon. Again, I only have one copy of the weapon. Because I just didn't go in for very much. I pulled the unit, tested him out for a bit. I was just like, eh. Miles reaction to that. Like again, I do have most of his skills buffed. I don't have this one done yet, but then I don't have a level 95 yet. So yeah. And again, considering I say I'm a spender, this will shock a lot of people, considering the other 3 units I've gone through. Well, technically 5, if we count Byakuya and Kisuke, but I'm talking about premium units, which you have to spend money to get extra copies on. Yeah, I've got my boundary 0. And I know he gets better with his boundaries. Characters always do get better with dupes. And you know, maybe if I max him out one day, I'll get him with a high boundary. My opinion may change on him. But just with the testing I've done right now, he's not that great. And it's funny because people are raving about the stamp corridor. I have this guy's core stamp max ascended. I've like literally sold like 3 copies to get the dupe. I want to say icon, but that's not the right thing. It's the essence where you can trade in 5 to get a copy to basically act as a dupe of a core stamp of your choosing. So yeah, even with a fully maxed out core stamp, like I appreciate I don't have his weapon stamp or boundaries on him. He's just not performed that well for me personally. And again, I know this is only my perspective, and I know I don't have dupes on him. So again, for me, it's going to be a little bit jaded. Another thing as well, for the life of me, I've just not been able to get like the best equips on him either, which is also just something like, again, it's pretty horrible equips. I'm not gonna lie, there's nothing I've really wanted to get to level 30. Like, these are all, like, that one's okay, but like the substats are gross. Yeah, and don't even have a thrust one. Again, the substat rolls on this haven't been bad, but again, those substats are gross. The main stats gross. I think one misplay they did is Toshiro is the only unit in the game that doesn't have his own unique core set, which is really dumb. I think that's another thing that really hinders his unit. I think there's a thing that actually why his core stamp is crazy compared to the others is because they have their own core sets, which is, you know, their actual core sets are doing a lot more for them than what Toshiro's is. So I think that's why his core stamp is as crazy as it is in terms of, you know, when it's fully done. But yeah, I don't know. Oh, went off there. But yeah, it's kind of, again, I've used him and he's performed okay, but yeah, I'm not going to go on too much about it because I don't want this to be a Toshiro slander video, so it's just my personal thoughts and my experience using the character, honestly. So next up, we have Yoruichi. I'm just going to go ahead and show like the boundaries and stuff on this character. See, I don't even have a weapon stamp. I am getting close to getting that in the P. These are kind of characters I haven't invested too much into. I'm going to not be honest, which is why I'm kind of speeding through. I do have a Ascension core stamp, Ascension 3, which is pretty good. I know my friend Big Leo, as he's called in this game, Phantom Leo from Phantom Max. He's maxed her out, like he prioritized to max her out, because she's his favorite character, and his is like twice as strong as mine. But there is one redeeming factor to this. Grimjow is coming, or that's what we all strongly believe is coming, and he is strikes, so as bad as it sounds, I don't really want to invest too much in Yoruichi right now, because pretty much we know Grimjow's going to be another full assault DPS character, which is what Yoruichi is as well. So Yoruichi is probably going to get hard replaced by Grimjow. And as much as I like Yoruichi, I kind of do like Grimjow more. So unfortunately, I will be summoning for him. Well, not unfortunately, but I will be summoning for Grimjow. I plan to go as far as I can. We may see Grimjow being another unit maxed out on this account. We'll see. We'll see how my luck is and stuff, and see if I want to do that. But yeah, Tozen is a unit I've kind of invested a little bit more into. With the release of Geen, I thought I'll try and invest into him a little bit more. That's why I got his weapon stamp only just recently, and the weapon stamp does help his gameplay out a lot. It gives him a follow-up attack on his ultimate, and just makes him seem to do more stuff. Again, he's not fully invested in skills yet, ironically. Oh, well, live in video, let's give him a skill. So yeah, I've not actually really done all that much with Tozen. His performance in the game seems okay. He's there, he does his thing, helps Geen do more ailment damage, so that's pretty good. I did actually pull a dupe of him, so I got him boundary 1, so that's pretty cool. His core stamp I actually got, again, this is a core stamp I kept pulling before the updated corridor, and yeah, it's just a stamp that keeps on coming to me. And his core stamp is pretty decent. There's nothing super crazy, but it's not bad either. But yeah, I kind of thought it was funny how I got so much of that. Again, because Geen's stuff to do with ailment damage and thrust damage, I've been giving him the Geen stuff. And it seems to have been working out with me quite well. Again, not the craziest gear in the world. And once again, I've been running the Geen, Aizen and Tozen bonds here, just to give him a bit more juice with his battlefield skill. So yeah, and then poor Rikaku, aka essentially, I really like the character. Again, he's a character which I feel like doesn't get enough love for like how much of a fun, like, actual personality and stuff he is in the game. And it also sucks because he's become the least valuable SSR in the game as well, because he's been the first unit to be fully replaced by Geen, and be fully replaced by the same typing of a unit and the same role of a unit, which is why people are just like, yeah, even though you have a Kaku, he's just not that great of a unit, sadly. And before Geen, again, talking about my friend Phantom Leo, he struggled to do the thrust tower. I believe he's done it now, but he still doesn't have Geen. He showed me his team for it, and it was really scuffed, and he's only managed to be able to pull through it with Ikaku, Tozen, I think either Aizen or Kisuke in his team. So yeah, it's not great. Again, I don't even have his weapon stamp. I've only got a rare weapon stamp for him, which isn't great. Just goes to show how much I've invested into him. Weirdly, I've invested a lot into his skills, because I did try and use him. Ascension 0, so again, another reason why he might not be performing the best. Again, he doesn't have his own kit. For some reason, I went with a Renji build, which was interesting. Again, I just think I'd just try to put on whatever I thought would have been good at the time. Rikaku, I got his Ascension skill up to 3. Again, one that I just kept on pulling, just randomly, instead of the ones I actually wanted. And his bond is the crit damage one, because I really couldn't think of anything else better to give him, to be honest. He's a DPS. Momo, goated support again. So he came out alongside Sasuke Aizen. So with her, I haven't invested in too much, but to be fair, she's not on the team to do damage. Now we're pretty much getting into the SR territory, so I'm just going to kind of speed through and just show my progression on that. So Ascension level 3 on a weapon stamp. I believe her core stamp is 4. Yeah, that's right. So she's pretty decent. Again, she's there to juice up all your spirit characters. So yeah, I need to increase her skills, which I can actually do. So I may actually do that off screen later. Pump up her stats a little bit. And hopefully she'll perform a little bit better. Again, it'll just be more damage. Like, her skills are pretty much maxed. So, because I do have her boundary 6. I got to boundary 5 on Aizen's banner, and then I pulled her recently, I believe, on Gein's banner. I think I pulled, no, it was the, I think it was one of the standard banners that I was just randomly pulling, and I managed to get the last copy I needed of her, which was pretty cool. So that is Momo. Again, Rukia. Rukia's weapon stamp, I have it at 5 again, because you can get this pretty easy just by summoning. Again, skills, fairly invested into, and again, that was before we got the Titanic support of both Momo and Aizen, so I was using her for a bit. Again, boundary 6, and her weapon stamp is Ascended 5, so she is fully done. While I'm here, actually, for Rukia, I need to change that build. And put it to this one. Again, I activated her bond way before then, so I'll go ahead and do that. So yeah, that's Rukia. Again, unfortunately, sadly replaced by Aizen, but yeah, it was, in the end of the day, she's only an SR, so it is what it is. Then we have Shikai Ichigo, which pretty much was replaced for me as soon as I pulled Bankai Ichigo, but I have invested a lot into him because I used him a lot through the story before I got Bankai Ichigo. So I've kind of heavily invested into him, and as you see, I've got the cool skin he uses at the end of the Soul Society arc where he saves Rukia. Again, weapon stamp 5. Skill somewhat invested into. Again, the reason why I was like 90k, sorry, wow, 90k, Jesus, 19k power. Boundary 6, and his weapon stamp, no, sorry, his core stamp is also 5. There's a lot of the SRs, they're kind of fully maxed out. But with Renji, sadly, arguably, a lot of people agree that he's kind of the worst unit in the game because he's only an SR, sadly, and he doesn't really do much. And there's 2 units which are SSRs that replace him, which is kind of true. Again, his weapon's fully done. I've invested a little bit into his skills. Weirdly, he's a unit that I don't have fully done yet. For an SR, I need one last copy of him, which is kind of funny, really. And I believe his weapon, yep, fully done. This is an SSR actually, which the reason why it's down here so low is because, again, I've had no real incentive to invest in the strike team yet, and that's just because it's just kind of been my weaker thing, my weaker team. And one other thing which I will go into later, the gold, the Khan situation and the resource situation and the stamina situation isn't just a free-to-play issue. It is an issue for spenders as well. Sadly, we can't just throw the credit card in it and get infinite resources, sadly. Like, it'd be cool if we could, but it's just not how the world, just not how it works, which I'm kind of okay with that. You know, in this, we're all in a marathon, not a sprint, so I'm totally fine with that. It just so happens to be Paul Sargent here is a character I've not really invested much into at all. And the reasoning for this is I do not have his weapon stamp. So when it went for go ahead and choosing, like, when we got a lot of tickets at the start of the game. Again, I went and prioritized Byakuya and Kisuke over it, so that's the reason again why I don't have weapon stamps for like Ikaku or Sajin, and why I only got Tozen's recently. It's because I'm going to be honest, I kind of prioritized my favorite characters over them, and over time, like, characters are going to get replaced anyway. I know Sajin's a pretty good support, so maybe it's kind of a misplay on my part. Again, I've not invested into him at all. Again, that's why his power is so low. Don't have any dupes into him. I believe, yeah, I only have one in his core stamp. So yeah, poor Sajin. It's kind of a sad state of affairs. Like, I'm just really not invested in the boy whatsoever. But that will probably be changing soon with Strike. Strike will be getting Grimjow, so yeah, I really should go ahead and try and build this boy back up a little bit so we can help out Grimjow in the Strike team. But it'll probably just be, I probably will just be using the setup of Grimjow, Aizen, and Kisuke, because Kisuke and Aizen are two of the most generic and most universal characters that you can use as your filler battlefield skill and support units. So while I do feel kind of bad that I've not invested into him, it's not the worst thing in the world, sadly. Again, unfortunately, it's a character which, you never know, we could get like, the thing is, Sergeant isn't even a bad character at that point. I just haven't had the resources to invest into him. So I kind of do want to go back and actually make a video of just being like, you know, this is Sergeant's time to shine. And hopefully I'll do that, as I kind of disrespected him in this video by kind of showing that he's not really all that powered up. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I may make a Sergeant video. But yeah, that's where he is currently in the state of the account. And we've got Yachiru, which I've been using a fair bit in like second teams and stuff around story. Support's really fun. She's a really fun character to use. I have her, once again, her weapon stamp's done. She's invested in a little bit in her skills. Boundary 6. Cause I believe she was in a rate up. I think it was with Toshiro, but I can't remember. It's either with Toshiro or Ichigo was one of the rate ups, but it's been a while since then. And I recently got her core stamp up to 5, which is funny because I've got 2 spares there, as you can see. So that's Yachiru. Uryu, again, really not invested that much into him at all. Though I do have him fully maxed out. And I have his, once again, I have his core stamp fully maxed. Again, just not really invested into him much. Not the biggest fan of Uryu, and to be fair, I've not really ran the Thrust team much. I've not really needed to use him all that much, which is a shame. I did get his skin though recently from the the current event that's up, which is the Geen events, so hey, at least I can show that off, I guess. And we have Ichigo Initial. Again, I do not have this guy fully maxed out, which is funny. I'm missing 2 copies of him. I think I pulled him recently, I want to say fairly recently, to get him to 4. But yeah, it's just funny that that's just a unit I've not been able to pull. Got his weapon stamp and his core stamp fully finished, of course, though. But yeah, it's an SR, which I still need, which is funny. It's just, yeah, I don't know how I just don't have more copies of him, to be honest. But there we go. I'll say even a big spender like me, you know, doesn't have everything fully done. Well, every character fully done. Having said that though, Nemi kind of fits in the kind of role of having everything done. A skill's not really invested into much, which is weird how I've not invested into a technique, but even though she's a support, she's a really weird support for Strike, and I never really kind of gelled with her playstyle, to be honest. So when Strike get a new support, it would kind of be cool. Hopefully in the future. But I do have it fully maxed out. Once again. Orihime, I actually kind of feel bad for not investing in her much, because she has some cool bits to her kit, honestly. She was the other rate up with Aizen, so I have her fully done. 5 skills, again, I need to invest in her more, because she's got healing in her kit, which again isn't all that needed or impressive right now, but it could be useful in the future. And this technique, the little triangle Dorito looking shield thing, not only does she give herself super armor, but the unit you switch into, she gives super armor, which is actually really useful. I can see it being useful later on. So she is a character I am tempted to invest into the future. So you know what, I'm going to put a little bit of respect on Orihime's name, which is kind of funny really. But I will give her this bond, and I will activate that on screen. There we go. She's got something going. Yeah, I did do Alpha Sergeant as well, if I'm all about respecting characters like that. So yeah, again, she's really not been invested in too much, but I may invest into her more in the future. A character I like more than Uryu. I know, again, throw shade at me. I just found Chad a more interesting character than Uryu. He is literally a Chad. Again, sadly, I think he's kind of tied with Renji, or kind of slightly above Renji in terms of being the worst character in the game, which really does suck. Again, he's a DPS character. It's a shame we don't have a tank character in the game, because that's what I think he would be. It would be really cool to introduce that, and maybe gave it to certain characters like Chad instead of Full Assault, because I believe he's a Full Assault character, which again just doesn't really make sense for Chad. But yeah, once again, I got that done, got that done, and got that done. But yeah, he's a cool character, but again, he's an SR, his damage isn't going to be insane either, and yeah, it's a shame. Hopefully we'll get an SSR one day, but that's Chad. I don't know Ruru, which, she's actually kind of an interesting DPS if you don't have Toshiro or Aizen. Tried to fuse them together, I guess, Tozen. Which is funny, because obviously Tozen himself. But yeah, once again, I believe she was already up recently. I think she was already up, I want to say, with Bankai Ichigo or Toshiro. I do not have her weapon stamp fully done. Huh. I have one more copy of a weapon stamp, which is kind of funny. I've invested into her a little bit. Boundary 6, because again, I believe she was on Ichigo's banner, and I went hard for Ichigo. Pause. And then her core stamp. I also managed to finish out. So yeah, those are the characters. Most of the stuff that I've done. I finished most of, like, the SRs, finished all the SSRs, or got a lot of the premium units with dupes in and stuff. So yeah, that's my character breakdown. Now let's go ahead and check out. Let's go ahead and check out, like, the challenging. Let's go ahead actually for ranking. So again, 3rd for Aizen. Let's go for Ichigo, which is 4th in the server. Byakuya is 13. Kisuke is 7th. Ichigo, Shikai is 93rd. Again, the SRs are kind of what it is. It's whether I've gone ahead and invested into them. So again, I can probably push them a bit further. Yorichi, 10.7. Sergeant, really bad. Poor Sergeant. Again, Chad unranked. 11.1 for Nemu. Tozen is 3.7 again, so there's a lot more stronger Tozens out there than mine. Ikaku, again, 9.7, so there's a lot stronger Ikakus out there than mine. Billy Basby, I like the name. Gene, mine is 15th, which, that's fair. Again, I only have my boundary 3, so he's not the strongest in the world, but still pretty decent, I would say. Renji, 5.3, because I've tried to invest in Renji a little bit. 20.5. Yeah, my Toshiro, again, sadly, is just a lot strong compared to others, but I've talked about Toshiro enough. And then we have Rukia, Orihime, Momo is up there a little bit. I could probably, again, pump her up a little bit further. And then Ururu, which again is unranked. So, speaking of the rankings, since we're here. So Frenzy Feast, currently at the moment, I am 5th at the moment in terms of the server, which I'm pretty impressed about. My ranking is, well, my overall score is 89,000, which is fairly high since you only need 70,000 to get all the jades and stuff. On Kenpachi, which these are the current 3 bosses at the moment, I am 35th in the server. As you can see at the top there, with Renji, I'm 29th. And then with Kisuke again, the Slash team just putting in work. That's why I'm pretty high up in that one, specifically 13th. And then we have the cult event at the moment that's going on, the Yami one. Overall solo damage, I am 10th. Then we have team ranking, 8.5, which is pretty good because of the rewards. So I win the second tier reward, which, yeah, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all. And then I will go ahead and... So with the guild, we're at the top 13.3. And then player ranking for individual damage, quite a bit higher up. And then there he is, Big Leo, which is the leader of the guild. And then for trial tower ranking, again, I think this just ranks people on when they actually did it, because as you can see, like, people literally, well, it kind of cuts off actually from 29th to 30th place, floor 65. That means we've all beaten it. We've all beaten all the stages. And again, I think it's just in order, because as you can see, the Slash Tower, I was the second person to finish it. Strike, I'm 4th. Thrust, it might also be to do with time and other stuff like that. It could be, because I'm 6th in the Thrust Tower, and then all the way at 34 in the Spirit Tower. I may actually try the Spirit Tower again now I've powered up Aizen, see if that changes my ranking, and then come back with you on this one. So that's that. So that's for the Spirit, so that's for the Frenzy Feast, the Guild, and the Tower rankings. And then we've got the Void of Destruction rankings, which I haven't played this in a little bit, so I played it when I got my 6 million. I kind of haven't really touched the mode since. I think I was like 5th at the time. I've now dropped down to 16th, which I'm totally cool with that. It still puts me in one of the higher tiers of brackets to get the juicy nameplate and other stuff. So I'm pretty pleased with that. I may try and push it a little bit more, or I may not. And then the Form of Void. I need to work on this a little bit more. Again, I am in the top 100, so I'm still pretty pleased with that. Specifically, I played these mode a couple of times. I haven't really played much to try and enhance my score, but that's where we're at on that. And then for the Unknown Adventure, so that's for that little other game mode. And this specifically is to try and get to the highest amount of floors. And I'm currently 8th on this, getting to 29, floor 29, where the bosses at that point have billions of HP. I'm not even over exaggerating. And it's a pretty fun mode. I really actually like what they've updated with that. It's a really cool mode. So one other thing I wanted to go through is the story mode. So yeah, once again, I've gone ahead, 3-starred, max-starred all of the story stages, all of the adventure stages, got everything from there. While I'm here, might as well collect all this stuff on screen. I've got some more stamina, that's pretty cool. I shall take that. And also while I'm here, I can go ahead. There are certain stuff which I haven't yet finished, for example, the Hollow Hunt. I still have to do the last stage on that. But yeah, I've completed pretty much everything, unlike the training supplies and stuff. But again, this isn't really end-game content, so that's fine. Movie interlude, that's coming soon, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, you go on to this, the challenge. So I'm level 42 on there, grinding through that. Again, I'm number 4 overall in the trial tower, so that's pretty sweet. Again, I've completed all the trials and all the floors, which is pretty awesome. I haven't done that overall, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, Frenzy Feast, managed to get all the events. I pretty much consistently now hit max rewards, and to be fair, this is the time that I've tried to push Frenzy Feast and tried to push my ranking in it, which is pretty cool. I really enjoy that, so that's pretty sweet. Getting 5th in that again. It's only top 100, so to get the first bracket of rewards, but yeah, I really went ahead and tried to push that, so that's pretty swell all around. And then yeah, we've gone ahead and gone through the rankings for the guild and co-op event. Again, the second rankings overall. I've done, and then I could go ahead and go through all the achievements, but that's gonna take kind of a little too long. But yeah, I'm currently grinding through all this stuff. I still have a lot of this other content to do, like the flash snapshot and this painted path to do. But I've done a lot of the end game content. And to kind of wrap up and sum up, really, is it worth being a spender in this game? In my personal opinion, I personally think do whatever you can do in games if you want to spend or not, which I know this is a really cheesy answer. It's honestly whether you guys can honestly justify doing it or not. Personally, for packs like this, this is a £20 pack, and it's really good value. I'd say value packs like this aren't bad and splashing out a little bit here or there when they come out. They're pretty good. So that's the pack we got recently. It's weird how it's still showing up there when I've already bought it, because usually when you buy stuff like that, like, they kind of don't usually stay there as a reminder. But that's interesting. These ticket packs, again, always, again, if you're a little mini spender in a game, I recommend always buying these because they're for summons, and that's why they're always useful. I recommend going ahead and buying these just so it helps you kind of push to getting characters you want. And you could buy these and literally hold them if you want to say for a specific character, so that when that character you want drops, you could even try and max that character out if you really wanted to. So that's my opinion on these. These are like the best value for money, and this as well. Like, I love it when they do stuff like this. So I recommend buying these packs. If I'm honest, the actual top ups, they're not great, to be honest. They're not the best in the world. I would recommend kind of staying away from these and just getting the packs specifically. As you can see, I've kind of already bought all of these beforehand to get certain stuff, because when you go to buy these for the first time, you'll get the amount that says at the bottom there, but then the bonus you'll basically be getting double. So there is that. I would recommend staying away from these packs. The monthly card, yeah, I ain't gonna hurt you to get this either, I would say as well, because again, 100 jades a day, that racks up to 3,000 a month. Plus you get the 300 paid straight away, which is nice. And then you're getting one extra spiritual power nourisher, which gives you 60 extra stamina, which again kind of helps with the stamina problems. So I recommend picking this one up. And then you've got these gift packs, which they're okay. Especially the weekly packs. Again, the weekly packs are pretty good. I recommend getting this one at the far end that I got. This corridor key pack as well. Fun fact though, when you buy, like, because I'll go into it with the featured packs, when you buy these, they actually come with paid jade, so you can kind of like hold on to them. And what I did in my Aizen video was I went ahead and before I actually started summoning, I grabbed all of these because I could. So you could do that if you were planning to buy some of the ticket packs. And I recommend, if you have the jade lying around from buying a couple of like the packs here or there that have the paid jade in, then sure, go ahead and get these. But I wouldn't go out your way to buy top up packs to get these, because these you can only buy with paid jade. So like, they're good packs, but they kind of is kind of an interesting way of kind of getting people to spend more money. Because I'd actually say, like, the jade in this game's pretty generous. Like, we're all kind of worried, it's like, the first, like, month or so, is it going to start slowing down the rewards? But no, they've actually been keeping up the rewards pretty good. So, yeah, like, these packs are not bad value, but I wouldn't go ahead and go out your way to get them, is my honest answer to that one. So yeah, I would say, again, to sum up, should you be a spender in this game? If you want to go ahead and spend, sure. But I'd personally say, if you're kind of on the cusp, should I, shouldn't I? What should I buy? Again, the ticket packs, the cool, like, little special offer packs of these. One pack that I will say is a scam, which sadly I cannot show you, is so when you pull the unit, or whenever the units come up, they will have the core pack stamps where you say, oh, you can buy a core pack and like get, I think it's some corridor keys and some stamp experience for like £20. Considering you can farm, because we have a better way to farm in the corridor stamp, the stamp corridor now. Honestly, just be patient. Like, I know I've bought every single one of them, but again, that's because I choose to. But if we're talking value for money, it's probably not the smartest idea to buy them. Is my honest opinion on that one. Also, one other thing as well, which you can buy, which I've just gone ahead and I was talking about it earlier. If you really want to go ahead and get a lot of resources for free, like you get the free pass, you get the free part of the battle pass for free anyway. But then if you really want to go ahead and be like, oh man, well, I want to go ahead and get the paid version, you get, as I said, you get one of these for free, which I always think is really nice. It doesn't have Toshiro in, my bad. It only goes up to Ichigo, which is interesting, but I'm assuming it's because he was a launch SSR. Okay, no, I tell a lie. It doesn't even have a Jigo in it. It just has the standard ones. So, I mean, the resources you get are good. But yeah, if you're doing it solely to get one of these, it's kind of not worth it just if you're holding up one of these. Hopefully they'll update this to have the premium summonable core stamps in the future. If that is the case, then in the future, if they do have these, I guess the reason why they haven't done that is because they want you to buy the other pack. But if they do ever update this to have those in as well, would be really nice. And I would probably say, actually, yeah, it would be more worth it. But yeah, like the resources you get for this isn't bad by any means. I mean, you look at that, like you're getting like 5 times the amount of resources almost. You get the 2 keys on the free pass, but you get 5, and then obviously if you buy the pass, you're getting the free stuff as well. So you're getting like 3 times the value, and the battle pass is £18. It's literally up for a month almost. So yeah, I do think for the amount of resources you get, even though like the most like alluring part of it is the core stamp, for the £18 it is, I would say it is actually worth it over the scam pack. Although the scam pack, sure, you're getting the stamp for the unit you want, but just the vast amount of resources you're getting here. And you're getting tons of gold, you're getting tons of level up materials, you're getting tons of corridor keys. I mean, hell, you even get a few like summoning tickets here. So yeah, I would actually say yeah, the battle pass is probably worth it because you're only getting it once a month as well. So it's not like for every character. So sure, yeah, I would say the battle pass is worth it. But yeah, overall, before I go ahead and head out, we will go ahead and wrong one. Just like look at the backpack and just like see the materials and resources that I have, and again, like I'm pretty low on stuff because again, just to kind of hammer this point home, that even with being a like mid to high tier spender, like because we're always like improving our units as well, like well, I will say we do get some extra like we do get some extra stuff in the packs. Like there isn't a monumental gap in terms of resources from free to play players and or spenders. I would probably say the thing is the corridor keys, the stamp nexuses to get to like level 30 for your stamps. Like for your set stamps, like yeah, sure, we have more of those readily available, so we can upgrade those quicker. But like overall, like yeah, it's not like a cataclysmic shift in resources, but yeah, like yes, spenders do get more resources, but again, I wish I had like tons more I wish I had tons more level up resources, especially considering how much it takes to get a character like from like level, I'd probably say like level 60, 70. And then when you're trying to get the character from 90 to 100, it takes so much stamina just to farm that. It's crazy. So yeah, we are rolling this, and I hope the devs do give us like actual more like resources. Like obviously, you know, I don't want that to impact the Jade count by any means, and I do feel like I'm kind of rambling at this point. But yeah, like overall, like there isn't a great shift in terms of free to play and spenders, but again, it's kind of expected to for spenders to kind of have a little bit more resources because I put money into the game. But I'm not going to make this a free to play or spenders war. That's not kind of a thing. I'm just kind of being honest in that regard. But yeah, overall, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just kind of looking into the mind of a spender and into the account of a spender and see like how far like a spender's kind of account has progressed within 3 months of the game. And yeah, people could be like, oh, this is kind of like a flex video, which I guess if you want to take in that regard, you can, but it's just kind of more of a case of just breaking down my account and seeing like where it is and kind of like sharing the journey that I'm having with you guys more than anything in this game, and just showing my love for the game. And you know, videos and stuff, I'm not going to stop on this game anytime soon. I'm having an absolute blast playing this game. The devs are doing a lot of things right. There's not much they've really done wrong in this game, and even if like there are some things that we don't agree with, they do actually get on fixing it pretty quickly. The only thing at the moment that's kind of a bit egregious is we don't know when we're getting Mongiku, because obviously there was the whole hiccup with the Gin situation, but they did compensate us quite nicely for that. So overall, yeah, this game is actually pretty like doing really well, and again, it's shown by a lot of people that are willing to spend on the game and just in general. And you know, the events feel fresh. There's no events that feel like they're just repeated with a different coat of paint on, which is really nice. And overall, yeah, this game is doing absolute gangbusters. So I can't wait to see what this Grimjow event is going to be, and hopefully that'll also be gangbusters. So we'll see. I'm excited for summoning for Grimjow, to be honest. My wallet probably isn't, but he is my favorite Espada, well, canon Espada in the series. So yeah, we may be seeing a maxed out Grimjow video soon. Who knows? Maybe, we'll see. But anyway, this has been Daz in Glitch and Normally. Let me know what you think of my account overall. Do you think it's a flex? Do you think it's informative? Are you surprised that I'm not as high in some of the rankings? Or do you think I'm actually like quite high in the rankings? Or however it's perceived? Anyway guys, I've been rambling for over an hour now, so I'm going to get up out of here and let you guys enjoy the rest of your day or evening, wherever you're watching this, and have a great day. This is Dawson from Glitch and Normally, bringing you this breakdown video, and plenty more videos in the future to come. Anyway, thank you so much for your time, guys. Once again, peace out. Have a great day. And keep on playing Soul Resonance. Later.